Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. We are here to answer frequently asked questions regarding food stamps. My name is Angela Taylor, and I'm one of the paralegals in each unit. We are joined today by Chris Lovell. I hope you will enjoy our presentation, and I'll hand you over to Chris now.
Oh, good morning. So yes, I'm Chris Lovell, and I'm also a paralegal with the each unit. I do work on a lot of food stamp cases here, and when we were doing it for the veterans in the Mission United SSVF program. So today, Angela has some questions, and so I came up with the answers, and we're going to go through and talk to you about this. Next. So, Angela, your first question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Angela, your first question?
Okay, sorry, I had lost connection there. So, Chris, explain what is a Florida food stamp food assistance program?
It's kind of confusing because nationally, the program is called SNAP, or is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. But states do have the ability to name it whatever they like. And in Florida, it's the Florida Food Assistance Program. But the bottom line is, for almost everyone, we refer to them as food stamps. Next.
Okay, now, am I eligible for the Florida Food Stamps Program, also known as SNAP?
You may be. The determination is a percentage of the poverty line for a family of three. It's 130%. And so for a family of three, the poverty line used to calculate SNAP benefits would be, good. In the fiscal year 2022 is $1,830 a month. So the calculation there is 130% of the poverty line for a three-person family is $2,379 a month, or about $28,500 a year. Next. This is what's known as Appendix A1, Florida. This is from our program policy manual. And you'll see the breakdown here shows the monthly 130% gross income limit, family of three, $2,379. Next.
Great. Now, what is a household income, Chris?
Household income means for individuals that buy and cook food together are considered one household for food assistance purposes. In some situations, for example, when there are children under the age of 22, they are required to be in the household with a parent. But you can have two households within one home if those individuals do not, for some reason, buy and cook and share their food together. Next.
Now, what is the earned income versus unearned income?
Well, their earned income, actually there are pages and pages about this, but essentially earned income is from working. So any type of job where you receive 1099 forms, W-2 forms, that would be earned income versus unearned income, which I think we're going to see on the next slide, perhaps. We can go ahead to the next slide.
Okay.
So we got our titles mixed up a little bit on this. Unearned income is any income where there is no work performed or no services. So unearned income can be Social Security, retirement funds, unemployment, dividends, VA benefits, but VA benefits only, well, in this situation, and VA benefits as well, would be counted as unearned income. Next.
Okay. Now, are assets included in the Florida Food Stamps Assistance application?
Well, they're included in the application, but states have significant power to determine asset limits. And at this point, 34 states, including Florida, have eliminated asset limit or asset test from the consideration of the allotment of food stamps. The same thing is true for vehicles. Some states allow you to have vehicles up to a certain dollar amount or only one vehicle. In Florida and many other states, there is no asset test on the number of vehicles. In Florida, all vehicles are excluded from consideration. This just shows you the map of those states, including you see in the bottom Florida, that have no limit on a SNAP asset test.
Okay. So what deductions are allowed under the net income calculations?
There are a number of deductions. There are 7 deductions primarily. There's a standard deduction, which everyone gets, and that's based on household size. That standard deduction is for a household of 1 to 3 members is $177, going up to $246 for a household of 6 or members. So what we're doing is we're going from gross to net, and so deduction helps bring us to the smaller number for the determination of benefits. The earned income deduction is a percentage of 20% of all income in the household that is from earned income, which we just went over from jobs. If you have unearned income, you do not get that 20% deduction. There's a child support deduction, dependent care deduction, and excess shelter costs. So DCF believes that a certain percentage of your household should be considered viable. So 50% of your income creates a standard of your household cost. Many people have above that. And if you are a household that has people over the age of 60 or individuals with disabilities, then there is no cap on your shelter expenses. If that's not the case, then it is capped at $597. You are allowed to deduct homeless shelter costs if you are homeless, and medical expenses if you have expenses above $35 a month. And again, with the same stipulation that you have these are expenses for an individual over the age of 60 or somebody with a disability. Okay.
Okay, so am I required to work to be approved for benefits?
Well, absolutely. If you're between the ages of 18 and 49, and if you are exempt and you are not exempt for a long list of permitted criteria, then you are required to work, and you are required to work with CareerSource in developing employment opportunities. The permitted criteria for being exempt include things like if you are responsible for a child under the age of 6, or if you're responsible for an incapacitated individual, whether or not you live with that individual, or if you're determined physically or mentally unable to work, and that would be individuals that are earning SSI or SSDI and veterans disability. In veterans disability, you must be 100% disabled in order to be considered not or exempt from ABAD. If you're employed or self-employed and you're working at least 120 hours a month, or if you're doing volunteer work at $80 80 hours per month, if you are involved in a regular alcohol treatment or rehabilitation program, those are all situations where individuals would be exempt from ABAD work requirements.
Okay.
Okay.
So what are the food assistance work requirements for ABADs?
So working or volunteering for 80 hours per month, or participating 80 hours per month in a work program, completing a combination of those activities that averages 80. And you must inform your CareerSource caseworker of your hours on a regular basis, especially if there's any change in hours. And failure to reach out and contact CareerSource will result in your benefits ending. And this is called a sanction.
Okay. And are college students eligible for food stamp assistant benefits?
Some are, some are not. So if you're enrolled in college or an institution of higher education, and you are enrolled at least half-time, so half-time or more, and that the determination of whether you're half-time or more is the determination of the institution or college itself, then you are not able to collect food stamps. Some exemptions, always is some exemptions. So if you're under the age of 18, for example, or over 50, then you are allowed to apply for and collect if you're eligible. If you work at least 20 hours a week, or if you participate in a job training program, if you care for a child, 6 to 11, and if you work 20 hours a week or participate in a work study, single parent, enrolled full-time in college, and taking care of a child under 12 is eligible to apply and receive food stamps if eligible. So those were the questions that we had for today. And is a little bit of information about our firm and the units that we have. And Angela, I think you had a final note.
Yeah, so I just want to let you all know, thanks very much, Chris. It was very interesting, a lot of information. And if you have any, further questions or queries, please visit our website. You can go into our website. Thank you for attending.